Well, all right. Let me open with a little video here from our fine friends in Minneapolis.
God's presence was so massive. I thought that the roof was going to blow off the building.
It's the love of God that will remain when all things pass away.
You really get to get involved and to learn about the culture of the city that you're coming into.
You matter. You are loved. And there is no limit to God's grace.
If our joy is only for us, then it is not God's joy. God's joy is for everyone.
God was there through prayer from my church and friends. God was everywhere.
Are you ready to live for this?
Okay. So this is what we're planning for this summer. It's the ELCA National Youth Gathering. It's us and 30,000 of our closest friends gathered together. And I'll just run through the basic questions as we get started first. So yeah, us and 30,000 of our closest friends all gathered together. It's going to be, I'm trying to make my screen go away here. Hang on, sorry. I want to be able to see my screen too. I can tell you can see it, but I can't. All right. So what are we doing? The National Youth Gathering is a gathering around worship, service, and fellowship. It's again, a huge mass of all across the whole nation coming together. And there's something about getting kind of this, mass of people that really just kind of, changes you. You can feel the energy in a space. And so if you compare it to like, say a summer mission trip where the primary goal is service and what you're going to accomplish, I would say that the slight difference here is that the primary goal is about connecting with one another and that worship experience. And, service is there too. It's still a big part, but there's just a little difference in emphasis. And so this is going to be July 24th through, I'm assuming that says 29th. It's hiding behind another part of my screen, but 5 days, Sunday through Thursday. We leave Sunday morning, get back on a Thursday night. Minneapolis, Minnesota, US Bank Stadium. We're going to fill the stadium with people for our main kind of worship times, the whole gathering all together. But the whole gathering takes place in the whole city. We'll be assigned to a hotel somewhere downtown, and there's a lot of kind of hotel life things that happen with the folks that are kind of grouped into your hotel. We'll also get to get out and explore the city because we're going to be going out to eat for our meals and really just kind of connecting with whoever we meet. The whole city will kind of be overrun with other youth groups very similar to us. And it's a chance to kind of make some really neat connections. And Minneapolis is a pretty cool city too. Why is a really good question. And I don't have like a little piece that goes below this because I think I probably could fill a few screens on why this is important. So I think the big question about, why would we go to something like this versus why not just do another mission trip this summer, comes down to the conversation I've had a couple of different times with different folks about what happens, after you're done with high school. most of our youth go off to college, or they go off somewhere, and they start kind of building their life. And after college, you're working on maybe you are working on a family, maybe you're working on your career. And very, very few of the youth that come through Grace Lutheran Church are going to find themselves their whole life long back at that very same place. And so a part of what something like a youth gathering does is it really puts in your mind, and that you can't really ignore, that there are some really amazing groups and churches and places all across the United States, and that we are all connected to each other, that we believe the same things, we do a lot of the same things, we might look different, but we connect with each other in really powerful ways. And I think it's important for all of us to know that when we're a part of the church, we're not just a part of this little corner of LaGrange. I think we got a pretty nice place, but we're a part of something much bigger than that. And that, for us, the ELCA, the Lutherans in America, and to see all of us kind of coming together, all of these different youth groups from around the country, it really kind of puts that in your heart and in your mind in a way that I think is powerful. When I left high school and went off to college, I didn't go to church for a very long time, but I had this kind of inherent connection and understanding, because I attended one of these things, that there were other places out there. And I kind of found my way back into the church through some campus ministry stuff, and later through the churches that my wife was connected to. And it did make a difference. And I think it makes a difference in a lot of lives of folks who attend one of these. Chris, do you have anything to add for why you think this kind of thing is important? If you don't know, Chris Thomas has gone a couple of times, and he's really been pushing me the last year or so to give this a shot, and to do something a little different in the summer, not a regular mission trip, but a youth gathering.
Yeah. So since there's more, I think I know everybody on the actual call, but since there's more people on that may watch this later, my name is Chris Thomas. I went to the youth gathering in 1994, which was a long time ago for this age group, 1997. And then I took a youth group in 2003 when I was a youth leader at St. Paul Wheaton in the far west suburbs here. And I think I echo what Ben said. It's a powerful gathering. It's something that it's contemporary. It's much like a concert. It's like going to a concert every night. You imagine you're doing a worship at a football stadium, right? So, take a contemporary service and blow it up times 100 with lights and visuals and really great produced videos. It's just, you walk out of the worship and you feel connected to the 30,000 people there, which is kind of amazing because it's a huge group of people and you still feel like you're part of this group. I think the other thing that I really liked about it, and when I was in Grace's youth group, we did mission trips too, and we took off the mission trip years to go to the youth gathering. And the mission trip is great. I love the mission trip. I've been on those as a youth and went back as an adult too. And I think there's something to be said about serving, and Ben said that it's a really great thing to go and give of yourself for a week and serve. But there's something to be said about every 3 years, which is when they hold the gathering, which is why why I pushed Ben to go. Because if you don't go this year, it's not like you can just do it next year. You have to wait another 3 years, and then we lose a whole group of high school kids who won't have a chance to do it. I think there's something to be said about going and taking a week almost for yourself spiritually. I know I always walked away a little more recharged, a little more refreshed. And there's nothing wrong with giving a week to do service to someone else. But I think every 3 years, it's not a bad thing to kind of service to yourself, to really connect with others, connect with your faith, explore different topics that they will have at workshops that you might not have really done before. So I think it's kind of almost, good for yourself. And especially after, the last year and a half, 2 years that we've been living through, I think it's really going to be a great experience for the youth to get together and to see other youth from other parts of the countries. And you kind of realize that, the South may seem very far away and different, or the Pacific Northwest is, a 24-hour car ride away, but we've got this common bond with each other, and you find that, and you make new acquaintances and friends, and it's just a neat, powerful experience. I don't know. There's really no way to say to replicate it without doing it, right? I mean, like we could do a contemporary worship here, but you're doing it with 30 people, maybe 300 if we're lucky. So, and then the speakers too. I mean, every night there's a different speaker. And I know that was a powerful part too for me as a youth, that just like a church service, you have a preacher of some sort coming up to talk, but a lot of times I mean, you're talking like nationally, internationally known speakers, people with really cool and compelling stories. And it's a neat week to be a part of something bigger, I think.
So Chris, are you saying you don't get that on a regular Sunday here at Grace, like that level?
Not at 30,000 people.
Oh, okay.
It's the level. You get everything at Grace, right? But yeah, you can't imagine how big it is. I mean, you can, because if you've watched the Vikings game, you know where the worship is going to be held. And that's kind of a crazy thing. But like, to put it in perspective for New Orleans, when we went to New Orleans, it was the Superdome is where the worship was. The connecting convention center, the entire convention center was filled with workshops and games and ropes courses and colleges, that all the ELCA colleges are there. You could visit them and talk about it. It's every restaurant, like you said, there's enough restaurants, and they purposely pick cities where there's enough hotel rooms and restaurants to accommodate 30,000 people, and a stadium big enough in walking distance usually to take care of it. So it's crowded, but it never felt like you were sardines packed in. And I think Minneapolis, having been to Minneapolis myself a few times, I feel like that'll be the same too. Like it's a walkable city that's spread out with lots of restaurants and hotels. It'll feel like there's a lot of people there, but it shouldn't feel like it's overwhelming, I don't think.
Good. So let's get to maybe the big question of the night. How much does this cost? So the first piece is a $150 deposit to hold your spot. The reason we're doing this right now is because November 20th, technically November 21st, but don't tell anybody I said that, is the deadline, the lowest rate. After that, the price goes up by about $50. Sometime in January, it goes up by like $150. And so we want to lock in the lowest rate we possibly can for anybody who thinks they might want to go. After that $150 deposit, around the end of January, the full fee comes due. And so that's going to be $350 additional. So we're talking a total of $500 there. That's the fee that gets paid to the national gathering to hold our spot. And it also is going to cover the hotel cost. We do stay in hotels. They're nice hotels. They're the ones downtown in Minneapolis. We get a rate through the ELCA national gathering that's, pretty good. And then there's another little piece of estimated costs that I think I'm pretty confident at this point that will not be charging to you, but Grace is going to try and cover that with some fundraising. So as Chris said, we kind of experience the city by eating our meals out on the town. And so there's somewhere around $200 or so of meal costs per person, just to cover, 5 days worth of meals. A couple of meals are covered by the gathering for like special things. I think the day we're out on a service project all day, they have like a boxed lunch thing for us. And then there's a dinner that's covered where you kind of gather with folks from the area where you're from. So all the Chicago area will be gathered together and they provide a dinner there. Grace Lutheran has some money in the budget that's going to cover the cost of transportation and a few other additional hotel fees, depending on the breakdown of guys versus girls. How many rooms we have may not be exactly optimal. And so if we have to spend a little more money to have an extra room to, make sure all of the sleeping arrangements work out, that's going to be covered by Grace's budgetary fee. So that's means we're going to be somewhere in the range of $500 to $700. Again, I'm still talking with a few folks about some fundraising stuff. I really do think we're going to be at that $500 mark. We're going to work on some fundraising opportunities with individuals at Grace who want to make some donations to see if we can cover that $200 per student or participant, I guess, to kind of pay for our meals. I've already got an idea of like a giving ladder of like, buy me a taco, buy a burger, that sort of thing. So,
I'd buy me a hot dish, Ben. It's a hot
yeah, there you go. Somebody wants to do that. So that's kind of the general cost. We will sometime in January, I think maybe early February, get like our hotel assignment and know where we're going to stay and that sort of thing. And we'll pass all that information along once we have it. I'm going to move on then to kind of some general questions. What if you sign up now and you can't go? It's between now and July. A lot can happen between now and then. So if you sign up prior to that November 21st, you're going to, again, lock in that early bird reservation. But if you decide you can't go between kind of like November 21st and later, we can still use that reservation. We can change the names on them. And so if you sign up now and then decide you can't go, if someone wants to sign up later, they could take your reservation. We just change the name to theirs and they will get the early bird rate. And then you don't lose any kind of deposit. If you decide you can't go and we don't have any more people signing up between the time you decide you can't go and when we actually have to go, we still have to pay the $150 deposit. So that's kind of how that deal works. Does that kind of make sense? I know that's a little bit confusing, but that'll get us in. So we'll our goal then is to officially register our congregation with all of our early bird registrations on November 20th, possibly on November 21st, depending on what time I get up, that stuff. And then we can add in additional folks for, I think it's like a $40 more until January. And then it's a little higher cost after that. But our goal is to get everybody in at the cheapest rate, because why would you want to pay more if you can get on it and get going? And then again, if for whatever reason you have to jump out, if there's somebody who can jump in and take your spot, then we're still golden. Let's see. So I think we covered this. We're doing this instead of a mission trip this year, but this is a once every 3-year thing. It's never going to be more often than that. And so we're definitely going on a regular group mission trip in 2023, same for 2024. And, who knows if the world will even be here in 2025. So we'll figure out what we're doing then too. Are there any questions at this point? Is a live sign up that I will text out to you, but it's already on Realm. We have a registration event all set for the 2022 ELCA National Gathering. I'm going to send you this link if you want to dive in and go ahead and get registered if that's something you're interested in. It's ready to roll. You can pay your deposit right there, and we'll have you the very first group of video out. We'll talk to some more folks, but I think it's going to be a really great time. Really excited about it. We've got Chris has already committed to being one of our youth leaders. I've got a couple of people. You have what you've told me. I don't know if you remember, but you told me.
No, I'm definitely in. I think after pushing you this hard, I have to go.
I've got a couple other people I'm going to be reaching out to as our adult leaders. Parents, you're always welcome if this is something that you feel called or you want to be a part of. Talk to me. We'll have a good chat about that. But I think it'll be good fun.
One more thing, I guess, just to mention for someone watching the video later or anybody on right now too, is Ben was mentioning everything's at hotels, which is 100% true. Yeah. Depending on the size of the hotel we're at, we'll either be at a hotel that'll have what they call hotel life, or it will be near a hotel that will have hotel life. And what hotel life is at night, they usually, in previous years, I don't know what they're planning this year, but they've had workshops, games, activities, DJs, things going on in the evening for the kids in the hotel. So that way you're not going all around Minneapolis trying to find something to do. Every hotel, or at least a hotel in your area, has things going on in the evening as well. And there's always spaces like ballrooms open for the youth group to go play cards quietly. They had movies going. It's just like, it's almost kind of like
Some of them are dance parties. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah.
yeah,
whole
it's very
gamut of
social.
stuff.
And I know that was a neat part. Not only did we get to connect as a youth group at those nights, but then you randomly invited someone else. You saw someone else playing cards and you sat down, and next thing you know, you're friends with a church youth group from Milwaukee that you just all of a sudden met randomly because you wanted to play spoons. So there's a neat bit of connection for that, where Ben was saying there's this, you get to learn there's 30,000 more people out there like you. At the hotel life, you do also get to kind of connect with
Right.
people as well.
They're all trying to make friends at the same time. So it's
right. Yeah. And there's a shared interest, obviously, of why you're all there. But then at night, you know, if you're the quiet kind of person that wants to chill and play cards, you'll find a room for that. If you're the person that wants to burn some energy off and go hit the dance floor, you'll find a room for that. Like, there's things going on at night where you'll get to not only connect with your Grace youth group, but also with just youth from around the country.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is. And I'm looking forward to it. I know it seems like that's something really far away, but we're getting rolling already. Any other questions? I feel like I had something a second ago, but I don't remember right now. All right. Well, I'm gonna shoot out an email with a link to the registration, and if you want to chat any more, have any other questions about what's going on and what the plans are, reach out to me. Feel free. I'm just gonna throw it out there. You can give Chris Thomas a call too. He'd talk to you about it too.
Happy to.
And we'll keep it going. You know, if you got some friends who you think want to come, talk to them about it. We'd love to get rolling on this. It's a good time. All right. Well, we're going to close in prayer because I feel like that's something we ought to do every once in a while. It's a good thing. Pray. Oh, good and gracious God, we thank you for all the opportunities that you place in front of us, for all the chances we have to celebrate you, to connect with one another, to share our faith, and to see you in the face and the faith of others. Be with us as we make plans, as we discern where our next summer might take us. Help us to trust in you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Oh, and I did remember what I was going to say. They're still evaluating COVID policy for this event. Obviously, July 2022 is very far away. It very much looks like vaccinations will be required for this event. I think from the perspective of Grace Lutheran Church, we would also want to require that anybody going is vaccinated for COVID. It may be the case that the actual city of Minneapolis is going to require proof of vaccination to like go into a restaurant and that sort of thing. Obviously, all of this is evolving, but just wanted to throw that out there that is probably going to be a thing. And as time kind of marches closer to that, we'll keep you updated with what they actually end up saying. Right now, everything I've checked from the gathering has been, we're going to follow the CDC guidelines and we're going to see what those guidelines are when we're actually there and follow those. So anyway, just throwing that out there. But again, thanks for jumping in. Thanks for chatting. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Sounds like fun.
I think so.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye now.